As the dawn of a new year approached, the air was thick with the promise of change and the excitement of new beginnings. For many, 2025 represented a blank canvas, an opportunity to redefine their lives. But as I sat in my favourite corner of the room, sipping coffee and gazing out at the world awakening, I felt an undeniable weight pressing down on me. It was the weight of things I clung to, things that, if not released, would hold me back from the success I yearned for. I knew that to truly embrace the future, I had to let go of 5 specific burdens that had woven themselves into the fabric of my existence. The first thing I needed to release was my fear of failure. For years I had allowed the spectre of failure to loom over my every decision. It whispered insidious doubts into my ear, convincing me that taking risks would only lead to disappointment. I could recount the times I hesitated to pursue opportunities because I was paralyzed by what might go wrong. Each missed chance left a scar, deepening my fear and reinforcing the belief that safety lay in inaction. But as I reflected on the paths I had not taken, I realized that failure is not the enemy. It is merely a stepping stone on the path to success. Embracing the possibility of failure meant embracing growth. In 2025, I envisioned myself stepping boldly into the unknown, ready to learn from every stumble, ready to redefine failure as a necessary part of my journey. The second burden to release was the need for external validation. I had spent far too long seeking approval from others, allowing their opinions to shape my self-worth. Whether it was the praise of colleagues, the likes on social media, or the nods of family and friends, I found myself measuring my value against their perceptions. This constant craving for validation stifled my authenticity, trapping me in a cycle of pleasing others rather than pursuing my true passions. In 2025, I envisioned a version of myself that stood firmly in my own truth, unshaken by the judgments of others. I would cultivate self-acceptance, recognizing that my worth was intrinsic and not contingent upon the fleeting opinions of those around me. This transformation would require courage, but I was ready to embrace it. The third thing I needed to let go of was my tendency to procrastinate. Procrastination had become a familiar companion, often disguised as a need for perfection. I would delay tasks under the guise of waiting for the right moment or the perfect conditions. However, I learned that waiting for perfection was a trap that led to stagnation. Each day I postponed my ambitions, chipped away at my motivation and confidence. As I envisioned 2025, I saw myself breaking free from this cycle of inaction. I would cultivate discipline and embrace the idea that progress, no matter how small, was better than perfection. I would set realistic goals, tackle tasks head-on, and celebrate the small victories along the way. This shift in mindset would empower me to seize opportunities as they arose, rather than letting them slip through my fingers. The fourth burden was the toxic relationships that had seeped into my life. Over time, I had allowed certain connections to drain my energy and enthusiasm. Whether it was the friend who constantly criticized my choices, or the colleague who thrived on negativity, these relationships weighed heavily on my spirit. I had justified their presence for far too long, convincing myself that loyalty meant enduring toxicity. But as I contemplated my future, I recognized the importance of surrounding myself with positivity and support. In 2025, I envisioned a life filled with uplifting relationships that nurtured my growth. I would learn to set boundaries, to prioritize my well-being, and to let go of connections that no longer served me. This would not be easy. It would require difficult conversations and the courage to walk away. Yet I knew that the freedom to choose my circle would allow me to flourish in ways I had not yet imagined. Finally, the fifth thing I needed to release was my attachment to the past. Memories, both good and bad, had a way of anchoring me to moments that were long gone. I often found myself ruminating over past mistakes, replaying scenarios in my mind and wishing I had made different choices. This fixation on the past clouded my vision of the future and limited my ability to embrace new experiences. In 2025, I envisioned a life where I honored my past, but did not let it dictate my present. I would practice mindfulness, focusing on the here and now while learning to let go of the burdens that no longer served me. This transformation would involve forgiveness, both of myself and of others. It would be a journey of healing, allowing me to step into the future with an open heart and a clear mind. As I sat in that quiet corner, I felt a surge of determination. Letting go of these 5 burdens would not happen overnight. It would be a gradual process filled with challenges and moments of doubt. Yet, I understood that personal growth is often born from discomfort. Each step I took toward releasing my fears, seeking self-validation, overcoming procrastination, nurturing healthy relationships, and freeing myself from the past would lead to a more authentic and fulfilled version of myself. With the new year approaching, I felt a sense of hope. 2025 was not just a number, it was a promise of transformation and possibility. I was ready to embrace the journey ahead, armed with the knowledge that success is not merely defined by achievements, but by the courage to evolve, to let go, and to become the person I was always meant to be.